stories are true. He's come back to seek his revenge. Only you can save your children. You must make yourself remember.
Remember what?
Peter, don't you know who you are?
Have to fly. Have to fight. Have to crow. Have to save Maggie. Have to save Jack. Okay, he's back. Who?
Let's fly!
Oh my God, where are we going?
To Never Never Land.
Where? I hate Peter Pan.
Je vous racontais l'histoire terrifiante d'un groupe de jeunes d'une petite ville pourchassés dans leurs rêves par un monstre hideux. La réalisatrice de Freddie est mort, Rachel Talalay, participe à la série depuis le début.
Well, the very first Nightmare, I knew it was going to be a very scary film because when I read the script, I was scared, and that's very rare. I mean, I was really, truly scared. If you've been there for all these effects and you know exactly how they're done and you're still scared, you got to know that you've got a really scary film.
I think the real gimmick, the real hook of these films is the idea that they do take place in a dream.
If I fall asleep, there's gonna be trouble.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Leaving the air.
The dream sequence that is the real root, the real key to the Elm Street films is why audiences keep coming back.
I won't tell.
The fans of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, they're looking for clues as to when the nightmare has begun. And then they listen for sound cues and clues with the scenery transforming or the perspective being a little extra forced or the cinematography and the lighting altering to really give them an indication that they're really into the nightmare.
Welcome to Wonderland, Alice.
They're always alert for when the dream begins and when the nightmare begins and the various sort of rules, Robert's rules of orders that take place in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and the die-hard fans, no pun intended, can tell you what those are.
I don't see why you couldn't just give me a pill to keep me from dreaming.
Everyone's got to dream, young lady. If you don't dream, you go.
One of the things I really like about Nightmares that I think generally the older audience doesn't appreciate is that they just think that Nightmare on Elm Street is any old slasher film, and that they don't understand that this is a film that really delves deeply into the history of dreams and the psychology of dreams.
How long has this been going on?
Since the murders. She was fine before that. Now she thinks her dreams are real. It's this guy. He's after us in our dreams.
Yes. The souls of the children. Give me strength.
À travers la série, Freddy Krueger a développé sa propre et suave personnalité.
You know, Freddie was pretty gory in part one, but if you've seen any of the movies subsequently, you realize that Freddie doesn't stab or behead or decapitate people and drink their blood any longer. If he wants to get even with you, he finds out your tragic flaw.
Bon appetit!
He finds out that she's bulimic, and he helps her binge and purge. You know, he stuffs her to death. Freddie finds out she's afraid of cockroaches, and he turns her into one, and it becomes kind of wonderfully Kafka-esque.
So that there's an awful lot of that kind of formula to these films, where the audience anticipating and looking forward to how Freddie is going to deal with one of his victims. And we've done that a lot with humor in these films. And I think that's probably, if there's been any progression, it's been that they've allowed me to sort of explore this sort of relish and humor that this sort of demon has.
You can check in, but you can't check out.
Die in a movie unless you have a bad guy. And the history of movies is riddled with everybody's worst nightmare, Freddy Krueger.
I want to draw some blood.
Grotesque makeup, combined with some of today's most imaginative special effects, make Freddy as menacing as any bad guy ever. In the tradition of the gangster villains, a wisecracking personality adds a dash of evil playfulness.
If food don't kill you, the service will.
I always think that Freddy's soul is sort of hung up like an elevator on the way to hell. It hasn't gone to hell or heaven, it's sort of in a kind of a purgatory. And we say it's the purgatory of sequels. But I really think that as evil as Freddy is, he didn't quite get to hell, because two wrongs don't make a right. And he was, in the backstory, as the fans know, he was attacked by these vigilante parents and burned alive. So I don't think he ever quite, he had a little bit of his hell on earth. So he never quite made it to hell, which is why his sort of evil energy still exists in the perimeters of Elm Street and those environs, and in the lives and the subconscious of the offspring of these people that done him wrong. There's this great tradition of the dream or the dream sequence in Hollywood movies, and to use that freedom and imagination to also be the sort of framing device for a horror movie, I think our audiences are able to be scared, but they also have a distance on getting scared because they're loud and they know it's just a dream. I think that's really the key to the success of the horror movies, and the fact that the nightmare in and of itself is a common denominator, that everybody's had a bad dream, everybody in the world.
You're from another planet. Sigourney Weaver in Aliens stands up to a creature whose every body part is designed for destruction. The alien creature, created by H.R. Geiger, is so unlike anything on Earth that its design ceases to be a matter of standard movie makeup techniques and becomes a marvel of engineering. Weaver's character showed that a female can be as courageous and resourceful as any hero. The monster seems indestructible, but Weaver finds a way. In Predator 2, Danny Glover and Gary Busey are faced with an alien which has come to Earth to hunt and feed. In one of its forms, this creature appears only as a shimmering, vaguely seen shape. This was a new look for a Hollywood monster, and it made it a difficult target for its human enemies.
Where is he? I can't see him. He's right there. He's right there. Damn it, where is he? Oh, give me a coordinate. Where is he?
We've got an infrared heat camera. Basically what we're doing here is we are the Predator's eyeball. The Predator's not around, but we've got his eyeball right here, and that's how the Predator sees. He sees infrared heat. This Predator is a real nasty creature, and he's sitting up here on the roof of this building looking down on these people.
This is the thermographic camera that we just saw on the roof. What we do with this imagery, we process it, we colorize it, and we put it back to film to show you the Predator's point of view.
This particular mask that the Predator wears is part of his armament, part of his weaponry.
He's a hunter. He comes from a race of hunters.
When even the most advanced weaponry on Earth failed to stop the creature, Glover finally won out by turning its own weapons against it.